Live today again with another recipe. I'm Dr. Lisa from the domesticlifestylist.com, sharing with you my healthy and tasty recipes for you and your family to enjoy. Haha! Today we are making my banana muffins. On the blog, you'll see banana chocolate chip muffins. Guess what? I don't have any chocolate chips today. So today we're making banana nut muffins. The thing about these muffins is that you can make any substitutions that you like according to what you have available. Right now, you know, most of us are home. Are you home? I'm sure you are. You should be home. Most of us are home, and some of the things that we typically get from the grocery store are a little bit more difficult to get. So I'm going to tell you about different substitutions that you can make so you can have the recipe and make the recipe according to your liking and your preferences and what you have available. Okay, so this recipe is originally a grain-free recipe because, yeah, that's healthier. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to start out with, I'm going to tell you about substitutions too for nut-free substitutions. I'm going to tell you substitutions if you want to make it vegan. Okay, so originally for this recipe, we start out with coconut, actually not coconut, we start with tapioca flour and almond flour for this recipe. If you have a nut allergy in your house or you're not doing almonds for some reason, you can totally sub out the almond flour part for like a gluten-free flour, and then you can use the tapioca flour as you see in the recipe, okay? In the original recipe also, it calls for butter. If you don't want to do butter and you want to have a vegan recipe for these muffins, you can always use some coconut oil. And that is what I will be using today. All right, so let's get started. I'm so glad that you spend your time with me. I feel pretty special that you're doing that, right? Because I love to cook and I love to share these recipes. So I'm going to start out with the almond flour. If you want to follow along at home, of course you can, because if you want all the exact quantities, remember that is on the domesticlifestyles.com. The link should be right now. It should be in the comments for your convenience, so you can follow along with this recipe. So I have some of my dry ingredients in here, and this recipe also calls for some shredded unsweetened coconut. So here we go. I'm putting some of that in. Let me know if you can see. I'm trying to show you all this goodness that's happening here. Okay. So, and we also need some salt. I'm using sea salt. I always use sea salt because it's healthier for us. It has all the minerals and everything that we need in here. I like to start off by putting my dry ingredients together first. So that's what I'm doing. I am going to go in with my leavening agent. That is what helps the muffins puff up. So I'm going to come in here with my baking soda, give it a good little mix because we want it all together and combined. Now, most of us eat bananas. I don't know a lot of people who don't eat bananas, right? And they're good. They're good for you. They're high in potassium. Great for pre-workout and post-workout, by the way, if you're pumping some iron. When it comes to choosing bananas for this recipe, you want to make sure you use your cheetah bananas. What are cheetah bananas? They're the ones with all these speckles on it. Not necessarily black, but the speckles. You see, cheetah bananas. When your bananas get like this, these are the bananas that you want to use for these banana muffins. And if you're not going to use these bananas right away, remember you can always freeze them. So what you can do is just peel them, right? If you're not going to use the bananas right away, you can slice them up, and then you can put them in the freezer so you can use at your convenience. So here we go. I'm using two really nice, delicious, fragrant bananas for this recipe. No, I'm not throwing the peels on the floor. I promise you there's a trash down there, right? So I'm getting that done. I'm going to get my little fork and mash that out. Now, some of the things for this recipe, some of the items I prepped ahead of time. Some of the things I did not. As you can see, I'm not getting, you don't need a fancy tool to mash your bananas, right? Just mashing these nice fragrant bananas. You don't want to use bananas that are not ripe enough. There should be no green on that, okay? Speckled bananas are best because you'll get that nice sweetness going. As a matter of fact, this recipe does not call for a lot of sugar at all. Only 1/4 cup of coconut sugar is what we're using in this recipe. So it's really important that you use the nice sweetened bananas. And guess what? If you are going sugar-free, you don't want any sugar in this recipe, you can always sub out the coconut sugar for applesauce. So isn't that great a substitution? So I told you about a vegan substitution, I told you about a nut-free substitution, and of course you wouldn't use the pecans I'm using if you're going nut-free. And of course this recipe is gluten-free, so that's what we're doing. The reason I am using coconut sugar is because it has a lower glycemic index. And that basically means that it doesn't spike your blood sugar as much. Why is that important? Because foods that spike our blood sugar are more likely to cause inflammation and eventual disease. Did you know that? So here we go. It didn't take me much of my muscle to do this at all. So the bananas are nice and smooth. Boop. So here we go with that. I am going to get me another bowl here and go ahead and crack an egg. By the way, oh my goodness, how hard is it to get eggs these days? My goodness. Everybody is home. Everybody's cooking eggs. It's like, what in the world is going on? This is one of the recipes that my family absolutely loves. My readers really like it too because I share this recipe a lot on the blog. By the way, if you're looking for some nice, healthy, tasty recipes, please be sure to download my free e-cookbook. It's called 10 Easy and Healthy Recipes That Your Family Will Enjoy. You can go on the tab on the blog and you'll find the link right there, or it'll pop up for you and you can go ahead and get the recipe. So right now I'm going to add some vanilla to this. I want to make sure I'm not doing anything to my liquid ingredients, by the way. So which is my egg. And make sure you're using vanilla extract, not essence, if you can, okay? If you can. That's just my preference. If you can't get the extract, then by all means, go ahead and use the essence. Because we have to allow for substitutions. This is the time where we can't get everything that we would typically get, and I get that. I understand it. So I'm going to tell you my preferences, but I'm always going to tell you what substitutions you can use as well. Ooh, this is good. Smells so good. Okay, then to that, I'm going to be adding my coconut oil. Remember the recipe calls for butter, but I'm just using coconut oil so you can see that you can have this be dairy-free. And I forgot to mention, if you want to actually make it vegan, you would be using like a flax egg, right? Like an egg substitute or flax egg. People make that if you want to make it vegan. Vegetarian, you know, you can just do without the butter or whatever. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I put that in there, and what else I need? Oh, I should put everything in this big bowl here. So these are my bananas. I'm kind of glancing around to make sure I didn't forget anything. Actually, you know what? This is my coconut sugar. I'm going to put my coconut sugar in here with the eggs, with the coconut oil. That is what we're doing here. You going to make this recipe at home? Are you? If you are, which you should, right? You should. Be sure to tag me when you make it. I want to see a picture. I want to see a picture. Come back in the comment, leave a picture, or make sure you follow me on Instagram, because Instagram is my jam. Lisa Leslie Williams on Instagram. And every time somebody shares with me a recipe on there, guess what? I repost those in my stories. I will repost your recipe or your recreation in my stories. So please be sure to let me know that you did it. And I love your comments. I read all my comments, by the way. Okay? So here we go. We have the mashed bananas. We have the liquid ingredients with the egg and the sugar. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is the good stuff right here. I don't know what you came on Facebook to do, but whatever you're doing, stop it and pay attention to this. Haha. All right. And if you're watching from Instagram or LinkedIn, I love you too, man. YouTube, whatever. Anywhere you're watching from, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit your notifications, put your notifications on, because this is important stuff. These are the recipes that we use to fuel our bodies and fuel our souls. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. Guess what? I did forget something. I forgot to put in my good old apple cider vinegar. And you know what would happen if I had forgotten that? They wouldn't rise. It's like a good old chemical reaction. You know, I have a science background. I love science. So the baking soda reacts with the acid in the apple cider vinegar. Make sure you mix that apple cider vinegar around first. I wish you could hear it. It's actually fizzing in the spoon. The chemical reaction is taking place. See that? So this is what happens when you put that in there. When I mix those together, the air bubbles are what going to cause the muffins to rise. Okay, now we're going to add our liquid to the dry ingredients. By the way, if you have any suggestions for future recipes, be sure to let me know also, right? Or things that you're trying to learn how to make. I usually just go ahead and go to my recipes on the blog, see which ones are the most popular, and then this is how I do it. Okay, right? Let me tell you something right here. These are good tasting, smelling. They're good tasting too. So anyway, at this point, I am mixing these ingredients together, right? Do you see the color in there? This is some good stuff. Your family is gonna love it. The only thing I would edit with this is you probably wanna make a double batch from the get, okay? Because the recipe yields about 8 to 9 muffins, and they always go by really fast in my house. So here we go. So after you've done that, this is the part where you're gonna either be adding chocolate chips or nuts, depending on your fragrance, your preference. Today I am adding nuts. So typically we do the chocolate chips, but guess what? Apparently when you're home doing isolation and self-quarantine, everybody and their mother and fathers are buying chocolate chips, and I wasn't able to get them. But I do have pecans. Do you say pecans or pecans? I say pecans. So what I'm doing here, I have my pecans in a little baggie, and then I am crushing them with a rolling pin. You don't have a rolling pin? Guess what? You don't need one. You can use an old bottle. You can mash it out. Are you stressed? Are you stressed right now? You know what to do? Take your rolling pin and you mash it out. This is the point that you do that, okay? So, and then I have my pecans here. I'm just gonna add that deliciousness into the bowl, right? I should have switched this out. Here we go. Get all the goodness out. What y'all doing today? What you cooking? What are you cooking? This is I know a lot of people are doing stress baking right now. And if you want to stress bake, this is what you make. Oh, I like that. It rhymes. If you want to stress bake, this is what you make. It's not good. So look at this. Look at this. I told you I wouldn't lead you wrong. I told you I would not lead you wrong. If you have any questions about this recipe, be sure to send me an email at lisa@thedomesticlifestylist.com. Send me a DM on Instagram, Lisa Leslie Williams. So here's my muffin tin. Or just leave a comment below, because I check my comments frequently, and I will make sure to come back and answer your questions. Now this is the part here where you can use these muffin liners, which you can easily get from like a store like Amazon, or you can just spray the bottom of this pan with like coconut oil spray. I am choosing to do this version because then I don't have to do all that cleaning up, right? So here we go. How long have we been going so far? Y'all enjoying this? You enjoying it? Let me know. Let me know. So what I like to use is the ice cream scoop, right? And I get it filled here. Yeah, there we go. And then I just use that to fill these gorgeous muffins up. My LinkedIn fam, listen. Please go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well, Lisa Leslie Williams. Facebook fam, follow me on Instagram, Lisa Leslie Williams. YouTube fam, follow me on Instagram, Lisa Leslie Williams. Do you sense a pattern here? I hope so, because that's the point. So, we're gonna bake these in the oven at 350 degrees. I like to bake it for about 20 minutes. Get that nice brown, even color, okay? And yeah, this is it. So I don't need to fill all this up right now. I just want to fill up a couple so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna fill up the rest later. So here we go. This is what it looks like. We're gonna bake these. So let's pretend like we're putting it in the oven. Don't fall. Put it in the oven, and when they come out, this is what it looks like. Banana nut or banana chocolate chip muffins, grain-free, practically sugar-free, just 1/4 cup of sugar in this, and you will not miss the sugar. And if you want to go totally sugar-free, remember I said you can use applesauce to substitute. I even have a homemade applesauce recipe on the blog, which you will love, trust me. So should I take a bite? I think I should, don't you? Y'all please try this recipe, because otherwise we would have wasted a lot of time. So good. My mom said I shouldn't eat with my mouth, talk with my mouth full. But I hope she forgives me, right? Yeah, we did it. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. This is Dr. Lisa Leslie Williams at The Domestic Lifestylist. Remember to write your own prescriptions for health and wellness and healthy living, and try this recipe, okay? I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.